Many view meditation as a modern wellness trend, but the practice of intentionally shifting the brain's state is an ancient, culturally universal tool. Long before the rise of the modern mindfulness industry, African traditions relied on repetitive movements and steady drumming to induce a meditative state. This rhythmic induction appears across the globe, from the ceremonial dances of Native American cultures to the rhythmic swaying practiced during Jewish prayer. While these traditions flourished in Asia and Africa, they largely disappeared from Europe during the Middle Ages. The Church banned these practices in religious ceremonies, causing them to die out in the West for centuries. Despite the different cultural aesthetics, from silent sitting to loud rhythmic movement, each of these practices shares a single biological goal: forcing the brain into a state of heightened concentration and anticipation. Modern neuroscience has validated these ancient practices through direct collaboration. The Dalai Lama dispatched several monks to research institutes in the US to study how meditation affects the physical brain. These studies show that regular practitioners display biologically enhanced empathy, greater tranquility, and superior managerial skills within the brain's executive centers. This raises a mechanical question. How does the simple act of sitting still or swaying to a beat physically change the way the brain manages reality? The answer lies in a specific neural filtering process, a bridge between ancient ritual and modern psychology. This process is known as top-down, or TD processing. It works by limiting the storm of sensory input the brain receives at any given moment. By filtering out the noise, the brain can concentrate its full processing power on a single idea or anticipation. However, TD processing has a strict biological limit. It cannot create new emotional programs from nothing. Like a computer, TD processing can only run software that is already stored in the mind. It must retrieve an existing emotional program to function. In a clinical setting, this means a therapist cannot invent a cure out of thin air. They must hunt for a dormant emotional memory within the patient and reactivate it. This was the challenge for a patient named Ali. Despite his background as an elite soldier, a lack of self-confidence was preventing him from finding work or building relationships. To help him, his therapist had to find a specific moment in Ali's life where his confidence software was actually active. Ali recalled that when he was riding a surfboard, he felt on top of the world. The therapist used this existing software by walking Ali through a sensory-rich guided imagination of a perfect day at the beach, feeling the warm sand and catching a wave. Even though he was sitting in a dry room, the concentrated imagination forced Ali's brain to run his dormant confidence software, making him feel the same power he felt in the ocean. Does this exercise provide a fleeting mood boost, or is it a lasting solution for Ali's lack of confidence? Repeatedly running this imaginary scenario triggers an active learning process within the biological structure of the brain. This repetition forces new, physical connections to form between neurons. Over time, the brain adopts the confidence software as its default routine, and the old neural pathways associated with sadness and hesitation simply stop being activated. Focused imagination changes the physical architecture of the mind, ensuring the brain's default response is based on these stronger, more resilient neural connections. Ancient meditation techniques and modern guided imagery are specific mechanical exercises that allow a person to direct their own neural activity. The top-down mechanism functions when imagination is combined with extreme concentration and a clear anticipation of the result. Science has now defined the biological process behind what ancient cultures have practiced intuitively for centuries. Imagination is a neurologically proven tool that anyone can use to actively redesign the reality of their own brain.